we're moving on to page 3. All right. Page 3. Your A piece. 3 7/8 inches by 9 1/4. We've got 2 B pieces, and they are 4 5/8 by 4 5/8, so a square. And 2 C pieces, and they measure 4 inches by 5 1/8. So those are your page 3 pieces. Bring in your scoreboard. Score the A on the 9-inch side, or the 9 1/4 inch side. We're going to score it half and 8 3/4. Okay, on the 9-inch side, and then we're going to rotate it, and we're going to score again at half on the 3 7/8 inch side, and this is going to be a pocket. Okay, and then your B pieces, we're going to score at half on either side because it's a square, so just half on one of the sides. And then your C pieces, we're going to score at half on the 5 1/8 inch side. Okay. Again, score tape on the 1/2 inch sections. Fold and crease, miter the corners. See, I like to do it in kind of like an assembly line because then you kind of know what steps are coming. We do everything in the same order, so eventually it starts to become, you have everything where you need it because you know what's going to happen, and I find it faster doing it this way. I often will do each page with the pattern paper and then move on to the next one. But on this one, because there are some specific areas that I'm working with the paper collection itself, I decided to do it a little bit differently and do all the construction first. And then do all the pattern paper. And I feel like I'm really rambling right now. This is what happens when you're standing alone in a room for long periods of time and you're just talking to a camera with no one answering back. You just... They're like, no awkward silences. I'm just going to keep talking and talking and talking. Lucky for me, I can't hear if any of you are telling me to shut up or not. Although I hope not. Okay. Get all of these out of the way. Bring this back. So the A piece is going to go on the right hand side of the base page here. So I'm going to remove the side tape backing first and then fold the bottom part so that it adheres just in the little corners there. And then it is going to go with the opening here, and it's going to go right on the right edge of the base page. Okay, now your B pieces are going to adhere. Oh, I just realized I forgot to put wet adhesive on that one. Oh well. Down there now. Now the B pieces are going to go on the top and the bottom of this left side of the base. Okay. Now we're going to open up the B's, and the C pieces are going to go on the inside edges of the B's. So you can put one on the right and one on the left, or you could put them both on the same side, however you want to do it. I'm going to have one on the left and one on the right, I think. Okay, so now it opens like that. And then there'll be a pocket. There's a pocket there. And then those close up like that. Okay, and that's your page 3. Now we will cut our pieces for page 4. So page 4, we've got your A piece is 8 7/8 by 8 1/4, sorry. 8 7/8 by 8 1/4. Your B piece is 8 1/8 by 8 1/8. And then you'll need 6 C pieces, and they measure 4 inches by 6 inches, and these are going to be a waterfall. Okay, grab that scoreboard. Going to score the A piece on the 8 7/8 inch side. We're going to score it at 1/2 and 5/8. Okay, that's it for A. B does not require any scoring. Each of the C pieces we're going to score at 1/2 on the 6 inch side. Okay, perfect. All right, you know the drill, you know what's going on. We're adding our score tape. Okay, and then nothing on B, but A does need 1 strip. Just going to do 3 at a time here, just line them up. Awesome. Okay, and then fold and crease them all. On the A piece, make sure that you score both the 1/2 inch and the 5/8 inch score line. Okay, cool. Bring this back in. We're on page 4. So A is going to adhere to the left edge of page 4. Okay, the B piece is going to go right in the center of the base, and we're going to put a brad right in the middle here. So, and it's going to go through the B piece and through this part of the base. Okay, so you're going to place it there, and then we're going to measure where center is. So center should be 4 1/8. So we need our pencil. And then make sure it's this centered this way as well. Excellent. Okay, so now we're going to take like a pokey tool or something that can poke a hole. We're going to put our hand into the like side pocket that is on the page, right? And punch this through both the B piece and the base page. Okay? So, and now I'm going to put a brad on there. If you want, you can, it is going to rotate around, so you will see some of the white. So if you want to put some pattern paper down now, alternatively, you can just take the brad off at a later date and put pattern paper on underneath it afterwards. We're not going to cover up the hole, so completely up to you. I'm not quite sure what pattern paper I'm using on that exact spot yet, so I'm going to put my brad in now, and then I'm going to come back afterwards, remove it, and put the pattern paper in. Okay, so putting it first through my B piece, and then through my base page. And then open the tines on the inside of your page. Okay, perfect. So that is that. Now we're going to take our C pieces and we're going to waterfall them. I have mine going along the center of the page. If you like, you could have it far up to the top. You could have it to the bottom. You could, like, wherever you want along the page is fine. So I'm just going to eyeball where center is. I'm actually going to put one on the other side as well, because I want one to be closing over the rest of them to act as a closure. So I'm just going to make sure that those two are lined up first, and then I can add the rest. Oh, I forgot wet adhesive again. Okay, so I'm leaving a little gap there, kind of putting it close up to, but not on top of the half-inch section of the previous one. Okay, and you're just going to keep adding your C pieces in the same way until you've got a full waterfall. So 5 will be going this way, and then 1 will be going the opposite way, which will close over all the rest of them. And they're each butting up to the edge of the half-inch section of the previous one. So it will look like that when it's all closed up. And then this can rotate so that you can have either vertical or horizontal photos. Okay, so set this aside and we'll get our pieces ready for page 5. Okay, your A piece for your A piece for page 5 is 8 1/4 by 8 7/8. You'll need 4 B pieces, and they measure 4.5 inches by 4. And you will need 1 C piece, and it measures 8.5 inches by 5. Okay, and grab your scoreboard. Okay, so we're going to score your A piece at 1/2 and 5/8 on the 8 7/8 inch side. So 1/2 and 5/8, so you've got a little gusset there. Okay, each of your 4 B pieces is going to be scored at 1/2 on the 4.5 inch side. So all 4 of those. And your C piece is going to be scored at 4 1/4 on the 8.5 inch side. So right down the middle. Okay. Put your scoreboard away, and now we'll add our score tape to all of our half-inch sections. And the A piece. Okay, and miter your corners. Okay, now we'll fold and crease. Okay, so bring your pages back in. Your A is going to go on the right side of page 5. This is page 4. A is going to open like that. And now you're going to take your 4 B pieces and you're going to adhere each one kind of opening in a different direction. So say let's start at the top right edge here. So you want it to open this way, this way, this way, that way. So it kind of like opens like a flower almost. Okay, so you've got up, right, down, left. All right, now those other 4, I'm just gonna have them coming, like having them do the same thing, but like an extra layer. Or you could have this one opening to the left, this one opening up, this one opening this way, this one opening this way. It's just an extra open, an extra layer. I am going to trim these last 4 just a super smidge, because I don't want you to be able to see them poking out. So I'm literally going to not even 1/8 of an inch, like just a smidge. So I just did 2 there at a time, and I'm going to do the other 2 just a small fraction off. Just enough that they'll fold nicely. Okay, so I think I'm going to have mine open so that it creates a nice big square all the way around. Okay, so now we've got a whole bunch of extra spots for photos. Alright, so that closes like that, and then in. Okay, and then your C piece is literally just going to be a little folder here that's going to sit on top and magnetize all of these down. So I'm probably, actually, just so we don't lose this piece, let's add the magnets on this particular part right now. Just so I don't lose it, I'm going to put on the back side of this, I'm going to put a couple pieces of score tape in 2 of the corners. Okay, and then put 2 magnets on each of those pieces of score tape. A little bit more score tape. And then we're just going to place it down. Alright, so now we've got 2 magnets there, and you can actually put magnets on all 4 corners if you like, and that will ensure everything stays really closed, but I think 2 is enough. And then that closes up like that, and that is your page 5. Moving right along, we got 3 more pages to go. Okay, page 6. So page 6 is quite simple. There's only 2 pieces to it, but both of the pieces really work with the papers. Now there's a couple options for this. I'm going to be doing some fussy cutting around the pieces. Like for instance, this piece here, I'm going to be kind of making an accordion, but in a circle. You don't have to do this. This is an optional thing to work with the paper. If you're not using the paper that I am, you'll probably just want to leave things plain. So it'll make sense as I start going. So your piece A is going to be 9 1/4 by 4 1/2. And your B piece is going to be 3 inches by 12 inches. Okay, grab your scoring board, and we are going to score the A piece at 1/2 on the 4 1/2 inch side. And then we're going to rotate it either way and score again at 1/2 and 9 and... Sorry, 1/2 and... get it together. 1/2 and 8 3/4 on the 9 1/4 inch side. So 1/2 and 8 3/4. I don't know why that wouldn't come up. Okay, and then your B piece, we're going to score it on the 12 inch side. We're going to score at 3 and at 9. And then we're going to flip it over and score at 6. Okay, so that's all the scoring we need to do. So we'll put some score tape on the 1/2 inch sections of the A piece, the pocket. Is this where you're gonna chill, buddy? Is this your spot? Okay, and miter the corners. Okay, so if you are using this paper collection, and if you want to do it exactly like I am doing, I am going to, this pocket is going to go onto the right hand edge of page 6. But I have fussy cut kind of around this tree with the ant and the grasshopper story, and I am going to adhere this piece of pattern paper onto my pocket, and then I'm going to fussy cut around it before I adhere it down to the page. Okay, so my pocket now looks like this, and now I'm going to attach it to the page, but I'm going to put my pattern paper on first. So I'm putting the rest of the grasshopper ant story onto the page. So normally I would want the piece of paper to go a little bit more into the pocket. In this case, it's just gonna meet the pocket, which isn't ideal, but it's what I'm rolling with. And I've cut the grasshopper circle, like the little circle bit, out of the paper itself, and I will show you what I'm gonna do with it. Okay, so I'm going to adhere this down. And now I'm going to adhere my pocket down. And just going to put some wet adhesive on this as well. Okay, so that is that. And now our little grasshopper cutout. So we've got, this is our piece B. We're going to accordion fold this. Okay, bone folder. And now my plan is to adhere it in this corner, but I want it in the shape of that. All right, so I'm going to kind of trace this. I'm going to cut it out a little bit neater though, because I feel like this is not an actual circle right now. Fussy cutting is definitely not my strength. Okay, so we're going to place it so that we're going to be cutting around, but we need to leave just a little edge here so that all of the pieces stay together. So I'm going to glue it like this and then trace around and cut. Now, if you're not using this paper collection, like, you don't have to do this. You could just keep it as a little square accordion and use it that way. This is a completely optional step. I just thought it would look cool. Okay, so I'm going to put it right to the edge there. And then I'm going to cut around it. Okay, so leaving a little bit of space over here. Okay, so now, oh, right. So now I have something that looks like this. I just have to attach the two together because there was this one fold. So I'm just going to put a little kind of tab in between those, or you could not have it as an accordion and just have it as a little opening like that. So completely up to you. I'm going to make it into an accordion, so I'm just going to add a little kind of hinge in between these two pieces out of some scrap paper. That does mean that I will have to make sure that I cover that up, but I'm okay with that. So my plan is to glue this down right here, and then I'm gonna have like a little piece of ribbon or something to pull this up like that. While I have the circle open, I'm just going to put one single magnet right here underneath where I'm gluing it, and because I'm not sure how many magnets I'll need to keep this closed. So I need a couple magnets, so let's put one here. Put it on like every second one kind of thing. And then we'll put one on at the beginning as well. Okay, perfect. So that is page 6. Now we'll get some pieces ready for page 7. Move this out of the way for a second. So I actually started this album quite quite a long time ago, a few months ago, in fact. And then I got a couple commission pieces and switched gears and ended up working on those instead. So I'm trying to like catch up with myself, with my brain, and remember my whole plan for everything from a while back. So if I'm ever like, that would be why. What was my plan? All right, so 7. This is why I'm glad that I wrote everything down. Okay, so page 7, our piece A is 5 inches by 8 1/4 inches. We'll have 2 B pieces, and they measure 4 3/8 by 7 inches. Your C piece, 5 inches by 11 7/8. And then optionally, you have a D piece, which is 3 inches by 6 inches. Okay, so the A piece, we're going to score at half on the 5-inch side. Okay, both of the B's, we're going to score at half on the 7-inch side. The CP, sorry, we are going to score at half and 6 1/4. Okay, and the optional D piece, we're going to score at half and at 5 1/2 on the 6-inch side. And then we're going to rotate it and score at half on the 3-inch side. So it's going to be a little pocket. Okay, so let's get our scoreboard out of the way and add patterned paper. Add score tape. Wow, Katya. Get it together. Oh, thank you for bearing with me here as my brain tries to work. Alright. Putting score tape on the valley side of all of the 1/2-inch sections. Then we're going to miter our corners. I just realized how hard this must be to see on the white. I might take this away. And then there's a little bit of contrast. Yeah, okay. Okay, so I'm going to miter all the corners and then crease, fold and crease, and then we can put our page together. Okay, so your A piece is going to adhere to the bottom of the page. Okay, your B pieces are going to go on the left and right on the inside of the A piece. Okie dokie. The C piece is going to be centered at the top of the page. I'm just gonna eyeball. That looks pretty good. Okay, and then if you so desire and would like to use the optional D piece, it is going to be a little pocket on the inside of the C. Okay, and magnets, the only ones that I'm going to add I'm going to add one going from the C up here to the pocket. I think I'm going to add it at the front though. So one magnet here. Let it find its buddy on the inside. A little more score tape. Okay, and there we go. And I think I'll do a magnetized swing tab going from the A piece to over top of the C in the decorating processes. Yes, okay. So let's get our pieces happening for page 8, and then I'll do some of the decorating and then make the cover and the inside bits. Okie dokie. Page 8. Your A piece is 7.5 inches by 8 inches. Your B is 3 7/8 by 4 inches. Your C is 4 1/8 by 8, and your D is 4 by 4 3/8. Okay, grab your scoreboard. Flip these over, starting with the A. The A is going to be scored at half on the 8-inch side. No scoring on the B, it's going to be attached via a brad. The C is going to be scored at half on the 8-inch side as well. And the D piece is going to be scored at half on the 4 3/8 inch side. Okay, once again, score tape, miter, fold, crease. All right, get ready your biddies. So, page 8. Okay, so A is going to adhere to the right edge of the base, even with the bottom of the page. Okay. The B piece, I'm going to use this little hen image, and I'm going to glue this on and then fussy cut around this little bit. You can, of course, just use it as it is. You don't have to do what I'm doing right now. I was really inspired by all the swirls and just the segregation of the way the paper was patterned, and so I just kind of wanted to really play on that with this album. Okay, so now this is going to go right up into the corner here via a brad. So I'm going to punch a little hole in this piece itself, and then punch a corresponding hole into the base page. So first I'm just going to mark where this hole is going to be on my page. Okay, and now I'm going to, because I don't really need the crocodile, I can just I'm just going to use my piercing tool here. Okay, and then get a brad and attach that. You'll have to take the brad out to add pattern paper again, but for now we'll just put it in like that. Okay, so this is supposed to swing out of the way in order for this to open, is the is the point of it. And I am going to put a magnet on the back side going to the front of this. But first let's add our other pieces. So we've got our C piece, which is going to adhere to the left edge of A. So right here. And then the D piece is going to adhere to the top right part of the base page. Okay, so I'm just going to put a magnet right underneath there and then add a little bit more adhesive right to the corner here. Okay, and then let it find its buddy there. So I haven't decided what I'm going to do on the back side of this yet. Okay, and that is that. All right, so that's all 8 of our page designs. Now we need to put our pattern paper on. I'm going to do, because it's so many little pieces, I'm going to do a bunch of it off camera. And then if there's anything that you need to know or anything like that, I will come back to. I haven't added any magnets on any of these, the front pieces. I might go through it and just add a couple extra magnets here and there. Okay, I'm just going to add a few sets of magnets, and then I will add my pattern paper and come back to you when most of it is on. Feel free to add magnets wherever you feel it needs them. I'm just going to do a couple sets here and there. Okay, so I will return to you in just a little bit.